It has just finished raining about 20 minutes ago. The sky is clearing up, but before the sun makes its way over these trees this morning, I want to start cutting up on this pile of logs. So this is the pile I want to just start working on. I don't really have any goals in mind as far as getting through the whole thing or getting through 2 logs, 4 logs, 8 logs, whatever. So what I might end up doing is I'll probably start marking from this end, and I'll mark until I get to, however close I can get to this gnarly crotch knot piece. Then I'll start from this end and I'll work my way back towards it. And then if this chunk ends up being, 14 inches, 12 inches, 20 inches, because I know this is going to be for my own personal use, I don't care. So sometimes when you're using like these marking tools, you want to, like look over the log that you're marking out, and then if you see things like this, mark from one end, get as close as you can to it, and then start at the other end and come this way, and then whatever you're left with, you might only be left with like, an 8-inch chunk, but at least that way then you're utilizing the most of the log that you can, and the snarly stuff that you're going to set aside or split down with a single wedge or whatever, you minimize how much of that you, I guess, have to deal with. I don't know if that makes sense or not, but that's just the way I do it. Most of these don't have, well, here's a good example, another thing. So this end piece has a crotch on it. So I'll look at that and I'll immediately go to the other end and I'll start marking. And then that way, if I get down here and, this end ends up being only 10 inches or 18 inches, I know that's going to be for the boiler, and I can just, cut it off. Same thing with like that over there. I'll start that log on the other end and work my way back towards that little knot there. So like I mentioned, the sun is coming up over these trees. I still have, I don't know, maybe an hour or so left of the shade to be in the shade. So I may as well, I just noticed there is a deer in the yard over by the bird feeder. I don't know if you can see that or not, but speaking of deer, I did see a little fawn running, actually it was behind the shelter the other day. Maybe I'll throw that in right now while I let the 500i warm up. I think that will be enough for this morning. The sun is just making its way over the top of these trees, so my shade is pretty much gone. But that's a good little pile of rounds to go get split up here sometime, hopefully soon. So if you are wondering why I measure everything out, even though some of this is going to end up in my outdoor wood boiler, it is because I'm not sure. I always like having that option of if I need to sell it or split it down for bundles or the roadside stand, I have that option. The other thing is when everything is kind of cut the same size, it stacks a lot better. And some of these pieces, you know, I might get like a couple decent splits off the edges for bundles and the roadside stand to sell, and then the inner part maybe split a little bit bigger, I'll keep for myself to burn. So that's why I just kind of like keeping everything uniform, pretty much the same length. Stacks good, and then it gives me the flexibility to either sell it or burn it myself. So thanks for watching. We'll see you next time. Stay safe, have fun, and be cool.